Those were the top headlines that we had in today's day in the world of startup. But let's move on and bring on board the management of Kiwi. We have Mohit Bedi, the co-founder at Kiwi, joining in with us. Now, in a recent report, what we have seen is that the UPI integration has spurred the growth in credit cards, and this is a report that's come in. And more than 100 crore worth credit cards on UPI payment transactions are happening on Kiwi's platform on a monthly basis. Now, to talk about this trend, to talk more about that, let's bring on board Mohit. Mohit, very good evening, and thank you so much for joining in with us on ET Now. I want to start by this, right? Because when I'm reading at this data point where you are seeing that, credit card on UPI has become the primary mode of payment where users are spending as much as rupees 22,000 every month. Just start by talking to us about this, transactions that are happening from credit card becoming the primary mode in the UPI way. What is the expectation of growth there? What is this trend that you are seeing?
So we are seeing very healthy traction as far as transactions are concerned. So we are seeing a general credit card has close to 7 to 8 transactions a month. And what we see is close to 17 to 18 transactions a month on the RuPay CC on UPI credit transactions. In fact, the amount of spend per customer per month is also better. So we are seeing close to approximately 22,000 spends per card per month on our platform.
While surely this trend is picking up, Mohit, but one thing that you should, one keeps an eye out on is overall around how it's happening versus what we see in India, right? So now report is showing that the average transaction size of credit cards on UPI is at around rupees for users is 1,125. Now, this is significantly lower when I'm looking at it in traditionally credit card transactions, which is at an average of around 4,000 rupees. So, what is it that you would compare over here, and how significantly do you see this moving?
So yes, it is because we are seeing most of the transactions that are happening are groceries and departmental stores, right? These are compared to credit cards, which are luxury spends, right? Which are electronics, travels, etc. We see a lot of transactions happening on daily use spends like groceries or fuel, etc. So the transaction and the ticket size are obviously smaller. We are seeing the transaction or ticket size close to 12 to 1,300 rupees. Now you should remember that the ticket size for UPI, which is when the transaction is done on savings account, is close to 400-500 rupees. So it is higher than that, but it is smaller than the regular credit card transactions.
Mohit, what kind of users are actually adopting to this credit cards on UPI? Could you highlight a bit in terms of that as well, in terms of the percent of users that are coming in for this form of transaction or payment is from which category?
It's not like that. Basically, you know that whenever there is a new digital product, youngsters generally try and take up that product faster. We've seen that between 25 or 28 to 40 years are the largest set of customers who are using. In fact, if you just expand that to between 28 to approximately 50 years, we've got 70% of our users there. So the card is obviously given to credit savvy customers, but yes, the adoption or the adoption for any new digitally savvy customers is always amongst the younger audience, and it will grow over a period of time, right?
Well, that's about individuals, but let's talk about businesses, right? How do you see that shaping up? How do you see, whether you look at Kirana stores, who is embracing it the most? Which category is embracing it the most? Where do you see most acceptance coming in for credit cards on UPI?
So small merchants, we are clearly seeing a lot of traction among small merchants. So credit on UPI traditionally is a scan and pay transactions, and 80% of the transactions are scan and pay, which means you are going to a kirane ki dukaan or a vada pav vendor or a golgappe wala and transacting on credit on UPI. So we are seeing a lot of traction on scan and pay transaction, which unlike a credit card, you'll see a lot of transactions online like Amazon, Flipkart, Nykaa, and those kind of merchants, correct? So that's a clear differentiator as far as credit on UPI is concerned. And small merchant categories, which are traditionally very heavy on groceries apparels. So if you go to Sarojini Nagar, if you go to your GKM Block Market, etc., which is where all the apparel stores are. So we are seeing, what I was trying to say was that small merchant clearly are the winners in this segment as far as credit on UPI is concerned. So the top three categories that we see where the traction is happening on spends is on groceries, departmental stores, apparels, and then food and dining.
Mohit, like I was mentioning at the start, and I started with this, that more than 100 crore worth rupees of credit card on UPI transactions are happening on Kiwi's platform on a monthly basis. Could you just talk to us about that in terms of the growth from FY23 to FY24? What is it that you're seeing there?
So on Kiwi platform, obviously we try and help customers get Rupee credit cards, or if you have a Rupee card, you can add your card and you get rewards. So as of today, we are seeing close to 100 crore rupees worth of spends coming on credit cards on our platform already, and this is growing at a very rapid pace. We are already partnering with Axis Bank, and there's one more bank in pipeline. So obviously, this spend and the issuance or enabling credit cards for new customers will grow as we speak. We are seeing at least a growth of good 20-25% month on month, and the adoption of Rupee, thanks to the amazing robust platform that NPCI team have built, it's gaining momentum rapidly. And IPL, as you know, is being sponsored by Rupee. That has clearly given it a huge fillip in terms of adoption.
Lastly, Mohit, I just want to understand that, how is this trend of virtual credit card picking up? How many, credit cards right now which are issued are virtual and others are being physical?
So we've got very encouraging response as far as virtual credit card is concerned. Typically, I was having this conversation with one of the cards head in one of the banks. Typically, cards is a very flash product, right? You have a metal card or you have a transparent card, and in Dubai, in fact, they have a diamond studded cards, etc. It's a great flash value. So it's virtual card is sort of moving away from those traditional norms of flash value and actually moving to convenience, and which is why you see a lot of younger generation of customers who take priority of convenience over flash value, is why the adoption also has increased. And this is clearly prevalent from the fact that the number of transactions or number of times people are transacting per month is already double that of a credit card, and our spends per card, as per the RBI report also, is at least 50% higher than a regular credit card business. So the acceptance is more, and people are obviously favoring convenience over flash value is what we are seeing.
Thank you so much, Mohit, for joining in with us this evening on ET Now. It's a pleasure having you on the show, understanding so much more about credit cards on UPI, as well as how overall virtual credit cards are also increasing, right? Such a significant trend that's shaping up. Thank you so much for that, Mohit.